All right, guys, what is up? You are back for another video with DataZero. This is your daily outlook and prediction for stocks and crypto. This video is not financial advice, should not be taken as such. Please do your own research and due diligence when buying any stock or crypto asset. With that being said, we're going to be hopping in the charts, fact, data, showing you what is going on for today and the rest of this week as traders and investors. So we're going to be looking, obviously, at the meme stocks, AMC, GME. We're also going to be looking at Bitcoin and cryptocurrency, and we're going to be looking at SPY, a.k.a. the overall stock market. So let's go ahead and hop right in, show you guys what's going on. Again, this is not financial advice. So the first thing we want to take note of is AMC did have a little bit of a pullback today. That is unfortunate, but we did make a gap fill to the upside. So not all hope is lost. It's not all doom and gloom. We're also holding key levels of support as well. We didn't make a lower low. We came down to that previous level of support and held it. Most likely AMC is going to be pushing back above the key level of 275 tomorrow. We were kind of fighting for it today. And I'm expecting a little bit of recovery, but I know people are discouraged right now on AMC, but you have to understand, you have to realize what is going on. We're seeing dark pool numbers insane right now. Anytime you can just randomly look at AMC dark pool right now and just see like 70, 80%, and this is high even for AMC. Right now, you guys can see at the time of recording, we have 75% dark pool. I showed you guys here on Twitter/X that we have up to 81%. Also, guys, if you missed the Ryan Cohen interview, make sure you guys check that out. I'll be putting that at the end of this video and try to put a card around this time frame in the upper right hand of the corner. You can click on that and watch the video if you did miss that. But we got a full GME Ryan Cohen interview. They talked about a various amount of topics, and I give my insight on that as well. But AMC is definitely going to recover. I know some people are a little bit distraught, don't think that's possible, but you guys can see right here we have this gap fill at 290 to 293, and I think we're going to push up for that, not this week, but probably next week. Again, we would have to break above at least 280 or 286 in order to push for that gap fill, but I think we will be reclaiming the level of 275. Now, another reason why I think they are a little bit scared of AMC right now, and they do have a ton of short shares. They have 7.1 million short shares ready to short here on AMC. Cost to borrow is 0.54%. This is showing to me that liquidity is definitely drying up in the background. Cost to borrow is going up as they short more. That is definitely good. We don't want them getting short shares for absolutely cheap. So we are moving in the right direction, but they are loading up for something, ladies and gentlemen. So I believe they're loading up for a possible attack, a possible rally here on AMC, where we see AMC push to the upside, and they're going to need these short shares to try to push it down. Also, if you look at the call options chain as well, you guys can see there are very little puts this expiration here coming up this Friday, and a ton of call options. You guys can see $3 call options, $3.50, and there's a decent amount of volume at this $3 level. So this is why I feel like they had to push it down, and they are desperately trying to keep AMC down, especially while SPY's pulling back, because that's going to cause some liquidity issues. Again, SPY's not dumping, it's not tanking crazy where you're going to see margin calls, but it is definitely going to cause some liquidity issues, especially for the hedge funds that are long key stocks like the Mag 7, which most of them are. Okay, so this is what I'm looking at for AMC. I do think we're going to see a little bit of recovery in my personal opinion. I told you guys on both of the meme stocks we could see a little bit more downside before we start moving up. So unfortunately, we are kind of still trending sideways. We haven't completely bottomed out and pushed up like I wanted. We got this push up, got rejected back down. Good news is we did make a gap fill while we were up there, and that gap most likely is going to be getting filled here soon. GameStop did have a dump to the downside. I told you guys this might be a possibility. We had those multiple gap fills down in that $22 level. RSI is now starting to get oversold on multiple time frames. Okay, close to oversold here on the 4-hour time frame. We're getting really low here on the 2-hour time frame, really low here on the hourly time frame, and then the smaller time frames we could easily get oversold as well. So a potential bottom is coming for GME. I don't think GME is going to go underneath $20 in my personal opinion, and I don't think there's any need to worry unless GME were to go underneath that $20 level. Now, similar to AMC, GME also has gap fills to the upside, and it filled all of the gap fills to the downside today. So I don't see any more gap fills for GME. All of those gap fills to the downside are filled, and we only have upside gap fills. Also, bullish divergence still is in play. RSI clearly trending up, price clearly trending down. This is an indication that we will flatten out and pop up. That bullish momentum is building, but it's taking a little bit longer than we would like, okay? The market moves on its own terms. We can't tell the market what to do. So again, it's going to do what it's going to do, but the charts are telling us that we should see some upside correction here soon, and all is not lost here for GME. So I know it's discouraging seeing them grind down. I know you guys just want to see it go up, up, and up, but that is not how stocks work. Also, I'm going to quickly touch on BYND as well. BYND, okay, is down horrifically here in after hours, ladies and gentlemen. This is a stock that, shout out to Andrew, he told us even before it took off, days before, like a day before it took off, 2 days before it took off, he told us about this stock. Now, this stock ran to my price target of $4 and obviously way, way beyond, but RSI got way too hot. It also broke below that trend line. I told you guys this trend line was key to determine if it was going to keep going up. It broke below it. It retested it as resistance, and it's breaking down. It also has a gap fill here at 190 to 151, and then a gap fill here in like the 88-cent range down to 73 cents. So those gap fills are going to have to get filled, ladies and gentlemen. So just be aware of that. BYND could still pop to the upside, but right now it's looking like it's going to head down towards these gap fills. And if it doesn't get back above the key level of $4, this thing will keep continuing down. It must break and hold that key level of $4 in order to be bullish. Everything that I'm seeing here is telling me that you're going to see at least some sustained pullback, possibly down to this first gap fill at minimum before a potential correction to the upside. And that's not saying it will 100% correct to the upside. Most likely it will, but you're definitely going to see a lot more downside before that happens. Now, once we get down to those gap fills and I see what's going on there, I'll have a lot more information. But this is what I'm looking at on BYND. Also, we've seen an article where they're calling BYND and donut meme stocks. Again, this is just a little bit of speculation, but I believe that stocks like this run to kind of distract you away from AMC and GME when they don't want you looking at AMC and GME. I know the price isn't doing anything right now, but there's a lot of stuff going on in the background that shows me that liquidity is drying up and the shorts are potentially having liquidity issues here for AMC and GME. So again, there's always stocks like this. I'm not telling you not to get your money. Always get your bag. But again, do not let greed kill you, because greed kills in this game. You guys can see this stock ran all the way up. You guys could have made a lot of money in a short period of time, but you have to take those profits. If you're up 50%, 100%, secure the bag, ladies and gentlemen, because anything after that, you kind of are being greedy. And if you feel that thrill, that euphoria, that excitement, that should be a gauge to yourself to say, hey, maybe I should be taking some risk off the table or completely closing my position. So this is what we're looking at for AMC, GME, BYND. Make sure you guys like and subscribe if you want more information like this. And we do cover other stocks on the live streams as well. So make sure you guys tune into the live streams for more information on different stocks other than just AMC and GME. Let's go ahead and move into SPY in the overall market. Show you guys what's going on there. And then we will head into cryptocurrency. So SPY is potentially losing a lot of macro momentum. All right. I told you guys that I think SPY is actually going to be correcting down in a big way, in my personal opinion. RSI on the monthly time frame extremely overbought. Also, we have a macro bear flag in play. You have this drop down, then it leads to this bear flag, which leads to another drop down. And it looks like we're retesting it as resistance now. Now, that doesn't mean that SPY couldn't go a little bit higher, especially as we retest this as resistance, but it looks like we're about to correct down in a big way. Now, again, the government shutdown didn't affect us at first, but ladies and gentlemen, the government shutdown is going on for a long period of time now, and that's going to cause some uncertainty. Also, we still didn't get official resolution from the Trump tariff scare that originally caused this correction in the overall stock and crypto market anyways, ladies and gentlemen. So we haven't got a resolution from that, and it's still putting a lot of uncertainty in the market. Also, we're seeing 4-hour MACD go red. We're seeing RSI start to trend down. We're breaking down out of the bear flag, retesting it as once was support, retesting it as resistance. These are all key indications that most likely SPY will be breaking down. Now, I want to make it very, very clear that I think most of the downside is going to occur maybe Friday or in next week, but this bear flag could break down as early as tomorrow. I think we're going to see a slight bit of recovery, in my personal opinion, and I'll show you guys what I mean by that. I think we're going to see a slight bit of recovery pushing to the upside, but then ultimately retesting this bear flag as resistance and then moving down. That would look like SPY coming up to about maybe 669.25, then rejecting from that. Maybe this will take place all day tomorrow, so tomorrow might be like a flat to bearish day after being slightly bullish in the morning, and then Friday and then next week we're going to start moving down, in my personal opinion. But it's very, very clear on what is happening here. NASDAQ also breaking down out of a bear flag as well. NASDAQ filled the gap to the downside that it had immediately, but there are multiple other gaps to the downside for NASDAQ and no more gaps to the upside. Like I said, I believe that this AI bubble is actually coming to an end. A lot more people are talking about it. A lot more people are becoming aware of it. And that is just going to bring it to fruition in itself, ladies and gentlemen. So people just being aware of it, people just talking about it. I think this bubble is coming to an end. Based off what I'm seeing here on the charts, there is no room to run. RSI is hot on the monthly. RSI is literally almost overbought here on the weekly time frame. So if we went up any more, you would definitely see it go into that overbought territory. And MACDs are starting to curl down here on the weekly time frame for SPY and NASDAQ, and daily MACD is red. So bearish momentum is building. It looks like we're going to see a macro correction down, in my personal opinion. That doesn't mean we couldn't go up later after we find some type of bottom, but I think we're going to see a decent breakdown out of this bear flag, in my personal opinion. So tomorrow could be a little bit slow, maybe like mostly sideways, green in the morning, and then bearishness in the later half of the day. I don't think the bear flag is going to necessarily break down tomorrow, but it's possible. But I do think some significant downside is coming for SPY when this is all said and done. Possible price targets for the breakdown of the bear flag would be 665.05 and 660.02. Those are two very safe price targets that, if we were to break down on those bear flag, would be hit. Now, if you guys want to know when this is happening, make sure you guys like and subscribe, put the bell notification on, because I go live and cover this stuff as it is unfolding. So you guys can check out the live streams to get that information. Again, data drops are not in play right now because the government is still shut down, so we don't have to worry about that. Let's go ahead and move into cryptocurrency, Bitcoin, XRP, and then we will be wrapping up this video, ladies and gentlemen. So Bitcoin also not out of the woods yet. In fact, it's showing me signs of potential weakness. I don't want to, I'm Bitcoin bull. You guys already know I bought that bottom when we called the falling wedge. We got the breakout. We got some decent gains there. Me personally, I'm holding for the long term, so I'm not going to be taking profits as of just yet. I think as long as Bitcoin stays above this overall trend line, that we are still in a bull market. But this is starting to look like a potential double top, ladies and gentlemen. We're also losing key levels of support and resistance. We popped to the upside and then got dropped down. That is never a good thing when you pop up like that, retest, and then immediately come down. Want to see Bitcoin back above 109.5, so $109,500. Want to see BTC back above that key level in order for us to feel a lot more comfortable. Now, also, we do want to keep in mind right now that crypto fear and greed is now back in extreme fear. So again, always move opposite of the herd. I'm not saying, hey, go out and buy. But ladies and gentlemen, when you see that extreme fear, remember last time we saw extreme fear, crypto was up massively off of that. Normally, when you do the opposite of the herd, you'll be okay as far as the macro is concerned. So be fearful when others are greedy. Be greedy when others are fearful. Right now, we are in extreme fear in the crypto market, as a lot of people are fearing a potential pullback and an end of this overall monstrous bull run that we've seen here on cryptocurrency. Now, keep in mind, if Bitcoin pulls back, because Bitcoin dominance is still very, very high. I'll show you guys right now, Bitcoin dominance sitting at the key level of 57.8 and ETH dominance only at 12.2. If Bitcoin pulls back, your altcoins are going to pull back, all right? This is not altcoin season where altcoins can take off without BTC. If you see BTC pull back, you're going to see crypto pull back. So again, even if you don't hold Bitcoin, or Bitcoin's only a small part of your portfolio, you definitely want to be rooting for it, because it is the biggest coin in the whole entire crypto market. In fact, almost half of the whole entire cryptocurrency market cap is BTC, and it is the #1 market mover. Similar to when SPY pulls back and it takes other stocks down, creating sell algos and stuff like that. BTC is the same way for the cryptocurrency market. So that's why we keep a close eye on BTC. So again, I still think we're in a bull run, but guys, as time's going on, this is looking bearish. Now, Ethereum's still in this overall falling wedge as well. You guys can see ETH has this falling wedge. There's still a chance to a break to the upside. So I'm not giving up on a chance for another leg to the upside just yet. But if ETH were to break down out of this, that would be another sign that macro bearishness is coming as well. So we're going to keep a very close eye on Ethereum. Want to see Ethereum stay above the key level of 4,000. We want to get back above 4,000 and hold that level if possible, ladies and gentlemen. So this is pretty much everything we're looking at. I'm just going to quickly look at XRP. XRP, you guys know that you want it to stay above the key level. I know we got a lot of XRP holders in the community. You want to see it stay above the key level of $2.50 if possible. Right now, we are below that. And again, pulling back with the general crypto market. Anything under $2.50 is a great buy, in my personal opinion, for XRP. You guys can see actually there's some buy orders here at like 234 to 230. So people are picking up XRP at these low levels. Again, if XRP were to drop down, we have a major support level at 196. So if you were to see another drop down from this, we have a major support level there. Anything under $2.50 is a steal for me, in my personal opinion, for XRP. But again, with the government shutdown, we were supposed to get a bunch of ETFs and stuff like that. That ended up not happening because the SEC is obviously shut down right now. So we were supposed to see some bullish catalyst for October that ended up never panning out. And then also on top of it, we got that Trump tariff scare, which made us crash. And similar to the stock market, we haven't fully recovered, and we potentially are going to make another leg down, ladies and gentlemen. So again, not out of the woods just yet for a potential crypto crash or stock market crash. I know people think that it's over and we're good, but I'm telling you guys right now, we are not out of the woods just yet, and we definitely want to see some recovery here in the crypto market. If Bitcoin were to get back above the key level of 115,700, that would be a key indicator that yes, indeed, we are recovering. But right now, things are looking bearish. Weekly MACD for BTC is red. RSI is trending down. If we broke below this trend line, then we're definitely going to see some significant pullbacks. So make sure you guys like and subscribe. Lock in, because I do give you all of these predictions before it does happen. And we were extremely accurate here on BTC. I told you guys that basically 125 around that level would be the top. I've been called out these price targets. I've had them here on the charts for quite some time here. As you guys can see, 115, 125 price target for BTC, and we called out 80 and 100K well before it ran up. We had this falling wedge here we call the bottom. So again, if you're in cryptocurrency, if you want to learn about cryptocurrency, this is a great place to do so, as we did give out accurate predictions here for BTC and have been absolutely on point. So again, make sure you guys like and subscribe. This is pretty much everything I have for you guys. This is your daily outlook and prediction for stocks and crypto. If you found this video informative, make sure you drop a like, press subscribe, leave a comment down below. I appreciate all of that. If you guys want to support the channel in a different way, you can check out the merch store. I'm rocking some of the merch right now. Also, you guys could drop a super chat on the live streams. That's always greatly appreciated, or a gifted membership. But if you don't want to do anything like that and support for free, you guys can just leave a like, comment, share, all of that good YouTuber stuff. But make sure you do this most of all. Make sure you have fun, stay safe, make money. Peace out, fam.